Hello everyone, my name is Steve. I'd like to welcome you to my Atari 8-bit home computer channel where you can learn information about the Atari computer. Now I also have videos set up here for people who just want to learn about regular basic programming, which is a series I just started up recently here. And this, if you watch my YouTube channel, you're going to find a lot of information on here about not only basic programming but also assembly language programming. I get pretty in-depth in it sometimes, but I decided to take a break for now and just kind of teach people some of the beginning concepts of programming. I think that's only fair because I had to start out that way. We'll have some fun. I'll teach you some things today about random numbers and how to set up a random number and make it look like you're playing the lottery or something like that. And then we'll use for loops. I think I'll go over those and maybe come across even some reading data statements or something, depending on how much time is left in these videos. I like to keep them compressed to a certain amount of time. I usually don't like to extend or exceed over an hour. So I think you'll probably enjoy this one, hopefully as much as I do. So let me just go ahead and swivel this camera around. Okay, that looks pretty good. Great. Okay. So like I said, we're going to start out is I'll teach you about random numbers. To set up, those of you who may need to know, I'm just going to put some more information. Darn it. So I think that's kind of explanatory. So if you've been watching my other videos on variables, right I'm doing right now here, this is a variable. Whenever you see a letter with an equal sign on the right of it, that represents a variable. You set an equal to the value. Usually we do something like 5 or 8, as I did in my last videos. This time we're going to use something called a random variable. So you're going to type int, you can use an open parentheses, you're going to type the number, the command RND for random. You're going to use 0, that's just a default, and then we're going to set it to any kind of number you want to pick. Let's just say this lottery only has 10 numbers in it. We'll pick it out to 10 for right now. So, oh golly, I lost my pen again. I like to use a pen to kind of keep people in sync. Okay, here it is. So here's basically what's going on. This right here is actually the variable. The variable we're using is just called R. We use that for random. And then what we're sending is an integer. Now an integer, hopefully I don't get this wrong, an integer contains numbers. I'm pretty sure though it can't contain, it might be able to contain negative numbers, but I don't want to say it does or not. And then now that I think about it, yeah, an integer can, what it does is it eliminates the decimals, but it can't contain negative numbers because you can have d equals integer, let's say d equals, I don't know how you do negative 2 or something. Let's see if that works. Yeah, so you can hold negative numbers inside of an integer. I wanted to confirm that. This one is just setting it to a number space of 10. Now if you don't want it to choose 0, there's a simple way to do that, because right now it's going to choose a number between 0 to 10. So that's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So what you'll do to avoid that, we'll do that in this video, we don't want 0, you add a +1 to it. Now if you add the +1 to it, that's going to make it 11 numbers, so we actually need to drop this down by 1. It's kind of a trick here. You drop this down by 1 and you set it to 9, because 9 plus 1 is 10. So if the number is 0, it'll add a 1 to it every time. So if it's 0, it's going to be a 1. If it's 2, it's going to be a 3. And that's just basically how it works. Hopefully I said that right. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'll put down here a lottery, RD for random, generator. That'll be what the whole basis of this program is. Okay, so first I'm just going to, for those who've been following, you just use print to print out to the screen. If you want to clear the screen, here's another way to do it. I did show this one before where you hit the escape key. Well, first you hit the escape, and then you hold the control key, and then you press the clear key, but there is an easier way to clear the screen. You type CHR string 125, and that will also clear your your screen. Because if you look here back in the Atari Axie book, for those who may have not known it, I've used this book in the past. It's the Atari Owner's Manual. You just look on the back here where it says the Axie, I think it's called the Axie table set. What do they call it here? Axie character set. And you just look up 125 for the decimal code in the back. And I'm going to hold this at an odd angle, so bear with me a second here while I try to get a zoom on this. Why does it never want to zoom when I hold it like that? I don't know. Maybe hold it from the bottom, maybe that'll do it better. Let's see. So we're looking for 125. I have my hand on it here. Okay. It's right there. So you go over, it says 125. It says escape, control, slash, and book's shaking too much, but basically what this does is it clears the screen for you. So that's what I wanted to show you. That's what this is doing right here. It's just clearing the screen. You can also use graphics 0 to clear the screen. Watch. That'll take you to a graphics mode. But since we don't want to focus on that for this video, I'm just going to go ahead and use the print CHR string for now. Okay, so next what we're going to do is we're going to kind of skip down a line. So if you do a single print like you just saw me do here, funny looking screen here. What it does is it actually just prints a line down from the top of the screen. So instead of printing on this top line, it just prints down a line. So every time you use print, it'll skip down lines if there's nothing on it. Otherwise, it'll just print out the text after it. We'll just say inverse key, random, I just spelled random today, lottery generator. So that's kind of like our program name. Okay. We're going to do another print down, so prints down kind of makes it kind of clean. And then we're going to use something, well, let's print our message first. Enter your lottery lucky number. And then what you're going to do is you're going to use a semicolon after that, so and also a space in here, so it doesn't jump down to the next line, because we want to basically print our input string right beside the statement. So we're going to say enter, we'll just call it lots for lottery. That's just an input statement. Now to use an input statement, I almost forgot to mention, you want to set a dimension up here for that. Excuse me for not getting that earlier. So we got, what, 10 numbers, so we'll set it to 10. Let it be a simple lottery, but you know, we could have it picking 7 numbers, but for now we'll just have it pick 1, just to get you started on how the comparison between how to pick a random number and how to use your input statement to tell you what number that you chose. Hopefully this doesn't go too advanced. I'm trying to think of a simpler way to do this, but okay, so if lots, this is whatever you type in, is equal to, now what we need to do is we need to be able to tell this that this is a number coming out of here. And you can't take a string and a number together, so there is another shortcut to this. It's called ASC. I think it stands for AXI. Might be wrong on that. And then you would put let's see, I think I did this wrong. I think it's ABS, maybe I'm right. ABS R, let's see if that works it. Nope, it's not ABS. Okay, so what we're doing is we're trying to convert this down. And you know, this input thing may not even work for this, but let me think here for a minute. Because it's going to set the string. We need to make it converted. I didn't use AXI. I know CHR string will convert a number. I don't know if that's going to work or not, though. Yeah, maybe that's going to work. Maybe it's val. Let me see. I think it's val. It's got it backward here. Oh, man. I was hoping this lottery example would work. I was going to have some simple examples, but I wanted to show you how to, and I've forgotten the command to do this. So we're taking a string and we need to compare it. What it's trying to do right now is it's trying to take a string and compare it to a number. And the system doesn't understand that. So I'm trying to see if there's another shortcut way you can do. Now if you use the axis, I think it might just be val, maybe not axis. Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong. Did I already do that? I don't know if I did. I think I did. Val will basically convert it into a number. So I think it's probably the opposite. It's probably not val. Boy. It's like I need to do my homework on this one. Okay, so we type in the number. You know what? I'm making this so hard. We don't want to use a string. We just want to use a number string. This is a character string. We want to set this to a number string. Basically, I might be teaching about arrays next, but it's basically what we're going to do. We're setting up a number string here. If lot is equal to, make this real simple now, r. Okay, this is going to work. My fault is I was trying to use this to a number string, so whenever you type like in a number, a 1, 2, or basically you type a 0 to a 10 or whatever number you put in, the computer would convert that into a character, so when you try to compare it against a number, it doesn't understand. Because only a character can compare against a character. That's why you always have to convert them back, which is what I was trying to do earlier. But now what I've done is I've set up an integer. I set up a numbered input statement. So whenever you type an input lot, it's only going to accept numbers. It won't accept characters. So this is maybe another step to your input learning service that you'll get from the first video. So now it's going to say, did you type in whatever is in R? Did you type in a 1? Did you type in a 2? Did you type into 3? So now it's going to be able to compare it. So what we're doing is we're checking for the matching number because we're setting it to equals. And print. Congratulations. You won the lottery. Something like that. Now we're going to check to see if the number is less than R. And print. You are close, but still have one more chance to get this right. Maybe that doesn't seem fair. Maybe I should say 2 more chances. I don't know how many they're giving a lot. 2 more chances to get this right. We'll make it a 2 tries and you're out kind of thing. Now, if lottery is greater than R, so basically you type larger than the number, then print. You are close, but still have 2 more chances to get this right. So it's not going to tell you whether you're higher or lower. I could probably make it say that. Let's say you are over. I'll just say, let's do this. Over. Okay, let's say you guessed over the number. Now that would tell you that he exceeded it. And then, oh great, it's cleared the screen. Ah, let's type that back in again. Okay, you are, let's erase this. I was trying to insert and I cleared the screen. Okay, you are over, or you guessed, let's say, you guessed higher than the number. There we go. And still have 2 more chances to get this right. There we go. You guessed lower than the number. Still have 2 more chances to get this right. So that would tell you, if you say lot is less than R, it's going to say you guess lower than the number, but still have 2 more chances to get this right. Otherwise, if your guess is over the random number, it's going to say you guessed higher than the number, and you still have 2 more chances to get it right. So I'm going to teach you a few, you're probably going to learn a few different things in this video. I know I was telling you about for loops and data and all that. I'm going to show you how to increment a value. And what we're going to do is we're going to set, every time we enter a choice here, it's going to keep track of what our answer was. So we'll just call it answer for now. You can use abbreviation. You don't usually want to use large variables. They consume a lot of memory, so Atari is restricted on that. I use just something simple like ANS. And what we're going to do is we're going to also, before I go into this, we're going to set this ANS up here. Sorry about this, guys. You want to initialize it to 0 first, because we have guessed nothing the first time around. And then now we're going to increment it. And what you do is you just say ANS equals ANS plus 1. That will go through one time. And then we're going to set a condition to check to see if our number has exceeded 2. So basically, the first time it's going to go through here, it's going to say 1, it went through it. And then it's going to say 2 and it went through it. But I know we said 2 tries. Let's see. I'll make it 3 because one of these is going to be equal. So we'll make it 3. And we'll go back and change this. Sorry, guys. We'll give you 3 chances. We'll be a little bit more fair on this lottery. So 3 chances to get them both right. So if it's, you would just put greater or equal to 3. That way, what we could probably do is say less than or equal to 3. I wanted to make this real simple for you. So if it's greater or equal to 3, so if you hit 3 basically, then print nice try. Let's also, this is going to be a little bit more complicated. So if your answer is greater than 3, sorry about this, guys, and we want to check to make sure that our, let's see, we didn't guess it right. So if our lottery number is greater or less than R, which means we didn't get it correct. So this is saying right now, if the answer, the number of times that it's counting your answer as it goes through one time, this is going to be 1, because remember it started for 0 up here, and it's going to go back here because we're going to set a go-to, make it go back and repeat the input again. You can type in your second number. It's going to go through these messages and check to see if you got it right, and if it's close or lower or higher, and if it's not, this is going to be 2. It's going to jump back here, and it's just going to kind of keep doing it until it's done. So I set up this loop that says if your answer is greater or equal to 3, which means you exceeded 3, basically you reached 3, because remember the equals 3, and you have not got the answer right, so you put the lot, which is basically the lottery, that we have not got it correct, so these two numbers mean not equal to. So you didn't guess the number, then we're going to end the game. And print, I'm sorry. Let's see. I'm sorry, you lost. Please, we'll just say, please pay for another ticket to play again. Like an actual lottery. Oops. So you lost the game. And we've already got it to say if it's correct, and we're going to make it jump out of this loop so it doesn't go through and print both messages. I'll show you how to do that. First, we're going to set a higher line like 300 here to go back to 150. This line here, which is a new command, go to 150, will take you back to the line that you indicate. So it's basically jumping back to 150. So it can go back and check this over and over again. And remember, each time that it's checking to see if you got the answer correct, or if the answer is less, or the answer is greater, it's going to keep incrementing this answer, which is your counter, basically. So as your counter is incrementing, it's checking, and it's always going back here until it gets an answer right. And once it gets an answer right here, we're going to make it jump out of this loop, and I'll show you that in the next step here. Okay, so we'll put down at the bottom here, we'll just say print, and then another message will say, you just won. We'll make it that you won some money. I'm going to teach you something new. Excuse me for beginners here, but this will be a fun game. I like to make games. So you just won so much money. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our random number. Let's say that random number is a 1. If it's a 1, we're going to basically add a 1 to it so we can do a calculation with it, because you can't multiply a 1 times a number. It's always going to be the same number. So to get a higher value, we're going to say 1 plus the number. So if it's a 1, it's going to be 2. And we're going to multiply it by, I don't know, 2,000 or something like that. I don't know how much money people could win in the lottery, maybe more, but, or maybe 20,000. I think that would be good. Let's say it's a higher lottery. We'll say 50,000. Be one of those real special lotteries. Okay, so that will just tell you how much you won, and it'll say at the bottom here, nice job. And that should just basically end the game here. Now, what I'm going to do is, this video is going to be carry on from the previous video, so if I'm going a little bit fast on this, I apologize. I wanted to make something a little bit funner, a little bit more fun in this session. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in the keyboard input to set that you press the keyboard, and it's going to go back and repeat our program. So if you haven't watched it, watch the video on, I think it's Atari Keyboard and Sound, and you'll understand what I'm doing next. Although I will explain it though. So the get number 1 comma K is going to check your keyboard and see. Actually, you know what? Let me just do this first. Press the space bar to play again. So it's kind of asking for an input now. So what we're going to do is we're going to set it to a key. And we're going to check that key, which I know is 32 for space bar. If you press the space bar, it's going to go back and repeat our program, which I think is at 130. Let me check it here. And make sure it gets fair. It needs to go back to 70. It needs to go back to 70 because it needs to reset the random number. I'll show you that in a minute here. Let me just put the open statement in here too. I guess I'll put it up here. This open statement opens the keyboard so that we can accept it for input, because we're going to be checking the keyboard. When I run the program, you'll see, oops, I just ran it. Oh, I just did, I was going to tell you. Okay, I wanted to kind of go through this and show you what I just did. What I did here is I added an open statement, which opens the keyboard input so that you can respond to the keyboard. So when you press keys on the keyboard, it's going to send a signal to the processor and tell you that there's a code in memory that you can check to see what's in that keyboard entry, basically. And it's called a keyboard table handler. It holds all the values in your keyboard up from 0 to 255. So what we're doing is we're checking for K. Whenever you use this statement right here, go back down here, it follows with this one. So to use it, you set get number 1 comma K, or you can use key KY or whatever variable you want. And then the 32 represents the space bar in the AXI character set. Remember that book I just showed you earlier? That represents the space bar. So if you press the space bar, then we're going to say, you don't need to say go to, just say then 70, which is another shortcut you can do here. And then what it's going to do is it's going to go back to this line number, look for it in 70. Now look back on 70 here where I was earlier, and you'll see that 70 is actually the random number. And you don't want to go back here to 68 because you don't want to reopen the keyboard. You'll get an error message on that. And you don't want to go to the dimension statement. You would get an error message on that too. That's why you always set these at the beginning, like your dimensions, your open. There's a lot of different ones you'll learn as you go along here that you wouldn't want to put anywhere down in your program. So anyways, it's going back to 70, and this is going to check for a brand new random number. So basically, this is just generating all over again. So if I've done this correctly, we should have a game in progress here. If something goes wrong, we'll go back and fix it as we go along. I said this is going to be kind of a fun one. We're going to be trying to guess the number. Remember, it's only going to be picking a number between 1 to 10, but you only have 3 tries to get it right, kind of like a lottery. See? Random lottery generator. Enter your lottery lucky number. Let's see, I'm going to try 6, and it'll tell you if you're close. You guess higher than the number and still have 3 more chances to get this right. Okay, so I guessed 1 time, so this is my second try. I'm higher than the number, so let's see, 3? Congratulations, you won the lottery. Oh, I did. Nice. Okay, it's still accepted input, so we have something we have to fix in here, so it's still, we need to make it jump out of the loop, or it's just going to keep saying things again. So let's go ahead and fix that. It just kept going back to the input statement. So what we need to do is make it on this line. Once you reach this line, we need to jump down to this line. So go back here to 160. I'll show you. This line right here was one I told you earlier determined that we won the game. It said, congratulations, you just won the lottery. And what we need to do is we need to set a go-to here so it jumps out of this loop and goes to the next lines down below. I'm sorry, right down here instead of going back here to 150. Otherwise, it's going to keep repeating inside our program. And eventually, we need to do the same thing for loss too, because I'm going to need it. I just now realized I'm going to need to set up a statement that says you lost and jump out of the game and make them start over again. So let's do that right now. I'm going to push these lines out a little bit farther. Sorry for all the typing, guys, and I want to make sure we get this correct. So down here, Let's see. Let me go back and look, see what I did here. Okay, so this one will take us back and do the job. We want to also make sure it goes back to the spacebar and keeps repeating over and over again. So I may show you something new here again. I don't want to make this too advanced, but I think for now I won't make it advanced, just for people who can understand it. We'll set up a line down here below this. We'll maybe make it 500 or something, doesn't matter. And we're getting the input for the keyboard, so we want to go back and check the input for the keyboard. Wait till you press the spacebar to continue. This line here is just jumping back to 460, which is our keyboard. So it'll keep checking 32 until you press the spacebar. Then once you press it, it'll go back to 70. This next line here is going to be for the end game. Let's say game over. Let's see. User a player lost the game. And it just tells you what's going on here. Okay, so if we lost the game, we're going to have some messages again. Okay, so we got this message already. I'm sorry you lost. Please pay for another ticket to play again. So down here at the bottom, it's going to say, nice try. You are welcome to play again. And then print. And we're going to kind of repeat this line up here. Print. Press the space bar to play again. And then it's going to wait for the keyboard. Same thing again, and we're just going to go back to the same line. So we're basically repeating these lines. There is an easier way to do it, but I didn't want to make this too complicated for people who are still learning. Maybe I'll show that in another video. Maybe I can show it once in here if people want to learn that. You can set up one line here to make it check for everything, but I set up two separate lines because one represents the win and one represents the lose. If I set up two different lines, we would still get the same message for the won and the lose if you won or lost. So I didn't want to make that complicated. There are other ways where you could put this number, these characters into a string and just change the number as they win or lose. But like I said, I didn't want to make this too advanced for people. So I think we'll just make it real simple. And we also need to indicate those lines and jump out of those lines once you won the game. So remember, this one won, so we need to jump down to this line. And here's what you do. You just go up here, right after the line, because we've already entered it, and you would put go to 310. I don't know the other one. I think it was 500, was it? Let me see. Player lost the game, 540. So we'll go to 540 on the other one. And that's if we lost the game. That's just the last line right down here. So this one's going to say go to 540. Like I said, this is going to be a fun game for people who want to learn. And it might be a little bit advanced, so I apologize, guys. I'm going to keep the screen color on at all times so we don't lose it. So, in line 75, we'll just use poke 120, oh, that's so go. 710, 128. I'll put down here, change screen color. That just changes the background color. It keeps it at 128, which is excuse me, the same color we have right now. So let's try it again and see how it goes. Enter your lucky lottery number. Am I feeling lucky today? I'm going to try, take a 4. You guessed lower than the number, so now I got to guess higher. Oh boy, this one's gone the opposite direction. Let's try 7. You guessed higher than the number. Uh-oh, I'm going to lose. And you still have 3 more chances to get this right. We could also set a counter, because you notice it's always saying 3. That's because it's inputting the number directly in. So it looks like it's never guessing the number. So later we'll need to go in and change it. But remember, this is just for learning right now. So hopefully it works correctly here too. I'll look really bad if it doesn't, right? Okay, so let's see. I've already done, and I still guessed higher. Earlier I guessed 7, and that was lower. Wait, was it lower? So 4 was lower, so it's probably 5. You guessed lower than number. Ah, it worked. Okay, so it got to the very last one. I'm sorry, you lost. Please pay for another ticket to play again. Nice try, you're welcome to play again. So now we would press the space bar. So if we don't press the space bar, it's not going to do anything, but as soon as we press the space bar, it starts over again. So let's go back and we'll fix that input earlier, right here, where we just put a number in, and you saw 3, and I put another number in, and it still stays at 3. So we're going to change this 3. This might get a little bit advanced, so bear with me a moment. I'm going to do something called concatenation. I'm going to stick the the variable ANS, which is the answer, inside of here so it can actually keep track of the number as it's counting down. I'll show you how that works. It's only one simple line. Actually, probably 2. Wait. Yeah, because we have both set up there. So, oops, I went too far. Let's see. Right here. Gonna have to go inside of here. Let's see, you guessed lower than number, but still have 3 more chances to get this right. And I just ran out of room on this line. Man, I gotta shorten my message here. You guessed, your guess was lower. How about your guess was lower? You have 3 more chances to get. I'm just changing these messages for now. You guess higher. You have, and I'll show you how to change that right now. So right now, we haven't changed anything, but we need to go in here. This is going to get a little tricky, guys, so bear with me a moment. I might divide this in 2 lines to make this easier for people. You would insert here, and you would insert a semicolon here. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and set this up on another line so I don't confuse people. And you just basically repeat the same message. We'll do that for now. We'll come back and fix that. Okay, you have, down here it's going to say, can't type today, more chances to get this right. That gives us some more room to play with too. And now we're going to erase all this message since we just stuck that down there. And like I said, we're going to concatenate this with the ANS, so it's going to stick that number value inside of here. So after it says you have, and you see ANS here, what that's going to do is it's going to stick the number as it's counting down. So the first time when you hit 0 and it goes through the loop, it should change this to 1 if I've done this correctly. Let's see. You know, I need to move this AND, because right now, if I go through here, it's only going to show 0 because ANDS hasn't actually incremented. So I'm going to move ANDS right below your input. Like I said, this is a learning session, so bear with me on those who are like, why did you do that? So we're going to move this one up to 155, and I think we'll be okay on this one. So we'll just change that one to 155 and remove the other one. Let's see. Alright, so we'll remove 190. We don't need that. We don't want 2 in there. Okay, so now we have it in the right place. I didn't know I was going to keep track of the counter, but I figured this would be a fun game. People like lottery games. My brother always used to say, when I get good, I'm going to learn how to create a lottery on this computer. Okay, so now we got the value printing here. We need to do the same thing. This is for less, so we need to do the same thing for the lower. Down here, I'm going to set up another line for this one. If lot is greater, I got this type. If lot greater than R, I'm going to set up a print for now so we can change it. Let's say more chances to get this right. Kind of like we did earlier. Oops. It's going to be the same thing up here, guys. No different. And ANS, you're going to put right after it. I'm going to change this again. Your guess was higher. That looks correct to me. Oh, why did I just put 84 in there? Only 185. I hope I just added a brand new line. Let's remove that one. Okay. So what it's doing right now is it's checking the same thing earlier. It's checking to see if the number the lottery number is less than the random number that you typed in. Remember, it's checking this is whatever you type in. So if you type in a 5, lot will be a 5. And R is whatever number that the computer has picked. So if it's 7, then that means 5 is less than 7. So it'll pick up this line and it'll say print, your guess was lower. You have, now it gets here, this might get a little tricky, so I was telling people about earlier, and why I divided this up for simplicity. Right here, it's now going to go down and it's going to put an answer. So remember earlier, our answer here was being entered one time. So when you go through this loop the first time here, and you enter a number, that means you already got your first answer. You already typed in your first answer, so this has to be incremented by 1. That's why I put it up here. And then now once it's incremented by 1, it's going to have this as 1. You have, and I think I just did this right, you have 1 chance to get this right, 2 chances, 3 chances to get this right. See, that's why this is a program. So what we're going to need to do to make this look, make logical, we're going to set this to 3 and make it count down instead of incrementing. It wouldn't make sense to increment, would it? So now this is going to be going backward. So now it makes sense. So it starts at 3 now. So the reason why I'm doing this, even though logically it doesn't make sense, 3, 2, 1, but think about it. Your guesses are, as you're going through the program, you're going to have less chances, not more. Because if we set it to 1, it's going to say you have 1 chance to get this right, you have 2 chances to get this right, and 3 chances, and it doesn't make sense. So you would start it at first time, it'll say 3. Well, after, let's see, input lot, decrement 2. I might even need to leave this back down here again, because actually it would say you have 2 chances to get this right. But that would be correct, because you already entered in the number here. So I might need to put a message up here saying you have 3 tries to get this right. And then right here, it's calculating correctly. So let me go back and fix that. I think that'll make more sense. Sorry guys, like I said, it's a game. So with the game, if you don't plan it out, you're going to kind of keep going through it until you get things correct. And since I didn't want people to get really confused, I was trying to break things down and make it simpler for people. And wasn't able to get all the logic out correctly. So let's see. You guessed higher, you have so many chances to get this right. Okay, that looks correct. So what we're going to do is we're going to, let's see here, oh, we're going to put a message up here, I forgot. Enter your lucky lottery number. So up here at the top, I'll just say, you have 3 chances to enter your numbers. Okay, that looks pretty good. I think it looks good now. So we got the numbers in here. It's going to count down the numbers from 3. So say 3, 2, 1. Because as it's going through here again, remember, if you enter the first number, and up here at the top it tells you have 3. So as soon as you enter your first number, you've already dropped it down. This means subtract. ANS equals ANS minus 1. Means decrease the value by 1. So now the answer will, the counter will be at 2. And then it'll be printing these results correct. So if you entered your first number, then it's going to tell you what you have left. You have 2 chances to get this right. Remember, the first one told you have 3, and you enter that up here. And then once you go through there and you get that incorrect, it'll hit 150, you'll go back up here to the loop again, and it'll check for your new number, and then it'll decrease that again by 1. That means the first time it was 2, remember after it decreased, it will now be 1. So you only have 1 chance to get this right. I know I said 1 chances to get this right, but logically it won't make a lot of sense on the messages, but the game will at least work correctly. So let's double check everything here. So this is keeping track of this, this is keeping track of this. Please pay for another lottery. We got our loop jumping out, and we got our going to 210. I think we got a good game going. Let's see how it goes. Hopefully you enjoy this. Okay. You have 3 chances to enter your lottery, your numbers. Enter your lucky lottery number. I should say enter your first lottery number. Lucky lottery number. And the first number, I'm always guessing this wrong. I'm going to say 3. Your guess was lower. You have, see? It counted down. Remember earlier was saying 3? Now the number has decreased because ANS equals ANS minus 1 has decreased this variable. So now we have 2, and I guess lower, so I'm going to try 6. Your guess was lower. Ooh, I'm still lower. And see, it went down to 1 now. Now, if this works correctly, it should jump out of the loop after 3 tries. And I actually did. I just now realized there is something in the loop that will not make it end. See if you guys can guess that. I've already played with looking at the number in my head, and I've already kind of saw the logic in my head. It's something. It's something to do with the A and S. There's something we need to change with the A and S that is not reflecting that the game is over. It will keep going on forever. Watch. Unless I get it right, then it'll end. So let's see. My guess was lower than 3 the first time I entered 3. The second time I entered 6. I'm going to say 9. Ah! I actually got it right. So we can play it again, but I'll show you what it was here. If you print A and S, it's equal to 3. So remember, I said greater or equal to 3. Oh, this one reset it. So earlier, we missed it. If we would have printed our number, remember it was at 1 here, it would have said 1. So if A and S is greater or equal to 1, then end the game. It would have never ended the game because A and S is not greater or equal to 3. It's less than 3. So what we need to do is go back and change our loop here, or change our condition. Where's that? Right here. This was because we set it to a higher value. Since we have it to a lower value, we'll say if it's less than or equal to 0. That way you can't go lower than 0, then it'll end the game. Now it'll work correctly if we get it incorrect. So I'll just put in zeros just to show you it works. 2 chances to get this right, 1 chance to get this right. Boom. Game's over. I'm sorry you lost. Please pay for another lottery ticket, another ticket to play again. You press spacebar and it starts over. So we've got a game in progress here. Another thing we could do, just to make it kind of give some more instructions on the game, I put you have 3 chances to enter your numbers. Up here we also want to tell them the kind of numbers they can enter. If somebody else is playing it for the first time and doesn't understand the controls, you would just put, to win, your numbers must be between 1 through 10. But you must enter the correct numbers. So to make that more sense. To win, you must enter the correct numbers between 1 through 10. There we go. Now let's run it and see how it looks. Now see, we got more messages at the top here. You have 3 chances to enter your numbers. To win, you must enter the correct numbers between 1 through 10. Enter your lucky lottery lucky number. Let's say that the lucky lottery number sounds better. Let's see, what's that it? I'm always guessing way out of range. I'm going to say 5 in the middle. Your guess was lower. You still have 2 more chances to get this right. Oh yeah? Try 8. Your guess was lower. You still have a chance. Whoa, this number's higher this time. Okay, let's try 10. Let's see if it ends. Ah, lost the game again. See, right now it's actually a game in progress. So you guys can type this in, and we have a little lottery game going on here. So hopefully you're enjoying this as much as I am. Okay, let's see if we can win this game. Let's make sure it works correctly. Hopefully we'll get it right. Just press the space bar again to run the game again. Let's see. And it never tells you what the number is, less or lower, when you first enter, so you just really left to guess at this point. I'm going to say 7. Your guess was lower. Ooh, okay, let's try 9. I might get it right this time. Your guess was higher. Ah, so if it's 7, and it's not, what I entered earlier, I entered, 7, then I entered, 9, so it's got to be 8. Ah, it worked. So see, the game actually works. Congratulations, you won the lottery. You just won $50,008. So basically, you just added the number to the end. Let's have a little bit more fun in this video. I'm just enjoying this one so much. We're going to set a scorekeeper to keep track of basically our money. So to keep track of our money, we're going to set that in a variable. And we're also going to turn off this spacebar cursor, which gets irritating. I'll show you how to do that. So maybe a beginner to immediate, so I apologize, but this is a fun game. I'm enjoying it so much. Up here, I've waited that, just type Coke 752, comma 1, that would turn the cursor off. Now we're going to set up a scorekeeper at the beginning of the game here. So here at the top, we'll just set it up here somewhere. We'll set a message to make it look a little clean on the message here. Let's see. How about that for 157? At 156, I'm going to say your current score is, remember, our score is going to just keep track of our money, so I'm just going to call it money. And then here's what we do. We don't want to just, well, first time we come down here, we don't want to set money to 0. Every time we start a new game, it's going to erase our money. So what we want to do is we want to set money to 0 all the way at the top, or you can leave it at 0, because variables, if you don't change them, automatically get set to 0. But I'm going to put it in there for people's understanding. So remember, you would put it in outside the loop. We're going back to 70 every time, so it has to be before 70, so it needs to go up on this line. So at the top here, it'll say money equals 0. Now as we guess answers, our money will increase. So earlier you saw us win. Where was that at? Nice try. Player lost the game right here where it wins. So on this line down here, 360, we'll keep track of our money. So what you do is you say money equals money plus ANS. Okay, to explain this, what this is doing is it's keeping a variable and it's incrementing it by 1 each time. So remember, money starts at 0 because we set it to 0 at the top. But when you get an answer correct, remember your 1 right here, it's going to take whatever was in your answer, and I actually did this incorrectly here. We need to calculate this variable in here. Basically, we're going to transfer this into your money. Otherwise, this is going to just count by the answer each time, which if your answer is counting down 3, 2, 1, it's going to be lower. Which kind of makes sense on your calculation, because if you're guessing a higher number, I'm sorry, if you guess it right the first time, it's going to calculate by a higher number, so you get more money that way. That's why I did it that way. So let's just go ahead and do this instead. So to make this confusing, I'll set up another line here. And we'll make this keep track of the cash that you're winning. Let's see, make this money equals money plus answer. Or award, we'll just call it award. And we'll set award equal to this up here. You just basically type that in here. And what we're going to do is we're going to add this not to answer, but to award. I said this might go a little bit over people's head, but I'm getting carried away. This one's kind of fun. And you're going to have your own lottery game. No pun to the real lottery, but what you're going to do here is you're going to set up a variable called award and set it equal to the number that you just won here. So whatever you saw it win earlier, if it was 50,008, it's going to put that inside of here, and it's going to add it to the variable called money. So basically it's adding it 1 to 1 each time. So every time this number changes, it's going to keep calculating and adding in your new reward. So it's going to keep increasing. So let me see if I can get it to win a few more times, and you'll see it increasing. Make sure I also put it in up here. Where's the score at? You get 3 chances to get this right. Okay, it's up here. Did I erase it? I must have erased it earlier. I need to put it in. Oh, right here it is. Your current score is money, so it's keeping track of the money right here. So let's go ahead and run it. Looking for my message. It didn't show up. Enter, messing the correct 10 numbers. I'm supposed to show my score. Where did I put it at here? I stuck it after the inputs. I need to stick it up here. Sorry about that, guys. This needs to be 145 and show before. We'll change the other line. I probably make people do a lot of typing to try to get mad at me on this. People said they would join it. So now here's what the new listing looks like. What I did is I stuck our score inside the same messages, because once you hit the input, it's going to show a question mark and it won't do anything until you enter something. So I wanted to make the score show up before you type in something so you can see what your current score is. Of course, it's going to start at 0 and it's going to work its way up. And there it is right there. Your current score is 0, but it's going to keep accumulating this as we win. So we've got to figure out how to win now. 8. I'm going to guess higher this time. Your guess was higher. Oh no. 5. Your guess was higher. Ooh. No higher? Like 3? So if we go back and we press spacebar again, the score is still going to be 0 because remember it didn't add any new money in. But notice it just always resets our answer. This is our answer variable ANS every time we're playing the game again, because we're always going back to that line that's resetting the information. So that part's working correct. So let's see. Hopefully we can win here. I know I wanted to do so much in this video, maybe I'll make it a little bit longer. Let's see, 7. I'm going to try 6. Your guess was lower. Oh, you're going to play with me now, huh? 8. Your guess was higher. Ah, I think I got you. 7. Yeah, we just want some money. So the first time, and it's keeping track of our current money, because we guessed it several times, our value is a little bit lower than it was last time. Last time it was 50,008, and now it's 50,007. But now we're going to keep accumulating this. Now watch when I hit the space bar, our money will still be on the screen if I've done this correctly. And notice also the cursor is going for that poke 752,1. See, our money's still there, so it's keeping track of a tally in our money now. Okay, so let's do a new answer here. 5. Your guess was higher. Oh, it's going with higher numbers, huh? 3. Ah. So, what happened here? Oh, you just won, no, it's telling you the new money. You just won 50,003. So if I've done this correctly, it should add this to this once I hit the space bar. Let's see. It'll look pretty bad if it doesn't. Ah, look at our money now. We got, ooh, we're making some money. We got $100,010 already. We won the lottery twice. Let's see. Let's go for a millionaire, huh? 4. Oh, I won right away. Look at that. What a guess. Let's see. And see, the money will keep accumulating. So now you got a counter, a score counting with that money because it keeps accumulating on the money every time. Remember, award is keeping track of the amount, which is the 1 plus, was it 1 plus R times, I think it was 1,000 or something like that, or 100,000. And it's just accumulating on top of that every time. So we're going to keep winning some money here. Let's see, 4. Your guess was higher. Oh, wow, higher, really? 2? Your guess was lower. Oh, I won again. Look at that. We just want some more money. How much money we got now? Okay, I think this is getting kind of interesting. Well, I want to do more with this video, but I'm having too much fun with the game here. A game I want to save. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to go ahead and save this in case we have a power outage here or something like that. We don't want that to happen. I'm going to jump out. Say goodbye to our money, but I'm going to jump out here. Battery. Let's see. I wouldn't mind $200,017 right now. Anyway, let's go ahead and do some else interesting stuff here. I'll show you some other stuff you can do here. What we do is every time you win here, what else happens during a lottery? Let's see. If you win money. Sometimes you get a public recognition. Well, I don't know what else we could really do with it. I was just going to make it just change the color or something. Or change the border color based on the amount of, not money. Well, that won't work either because you can only set 255 values in a color location. I was going to try to make it add to the reward, but that wouldn't work. And I think we've got the cash growing here. Well, what do you guys think? What else do you think we could add to it? We could probably clean it up a little bit, maybe. Oh, I think it looks pretty good. I mean, it works. It's a working program. So maybe what we could also, I was going to say we keep track of the score in memory, but if I do that, then that might throw people off. I could basically capture it inside of a memory location and then output it to the screen each time so we always know what our number value is. But that might get a little bit too complicated because it goes into high and low numbers. So I won't do that. I promise I won't make this complicated. But we got it working. So I said I was going to teach you about for loops. I'll probably have to pass on this one because I didn't want to make it too complicated. Let's see. Press the space bar to play again. Sorry guys, I just want to see if there's anything else I could add to this lottery number here. Make it more fun. How can we lose money in this lottery? We're gonna make it say if you guess incorrectly and your score is greater than 0, then let's make it start detracting from your score. Excuse me, this might go into intermediate, but I just thought that this would be a little bit more fun. Because why would you keep winning the lottery over and over, and every time you lose, you're still going to keep getting all this money? So now we're going to make there's a penalty. So if you guess incorrectly the first time and you've already won money previously, unfortunately the casinos are not happy and you're going to start losing money now. So we're going to basically set up a new variable for lost, or lost cash or something like that. Cash loss. Let's see. We got our one for money. So down here, we'll have to set it down here somewhere. We'll set it right in here, and it'll say something like loss equals loss plus, let's see, usually winning about 100 grand. Let's make it 1,000. And make kind of rough. Let's make it I'll be a nice casino man here. We'll make it 500 loss. I'll show you how this works. We're going to take this number is going to increase by 500 each time you lose. So as long as we'll check it to make sure if your number is greater than 0, then what it's going to do is it's going to check loss. If you've already went down here and you lost the game, it's going to it's going to subtract that from your total score. So you're going to now start losing money if you don't get the correct answer. So it's going to be a little bit harder to keep up now. In more ways than one, it'll be harder to keep winning the game with tons and tons of money. It might be a little bit harder for people to follow this, so I apologize guys. But I thought this one would be fun. I've always wanted to make a lottery game. This is very general, by the way. I had so many great plans for this one, I was like, I don't want to make it too advanced for people when you're there. So let's see, where's our winning money? It's down here. Okay, so here's where our award is. So we're going to have to make it subtract off of the award, and I'll show you how you do that. Since we want to get a correct calculation, you want to insert this over, and you're going to put this whole thing in parentheses so we can subtract, like in mathematics, from the whole value of loss. Now what we're going to need to also do here to make it fair, if you win every time, we don't want it subtracting off the loss, so we want to set this value to 0. Excuse me for the complexity in this, but if you win, we want to make it fair. We don't want to subtract any money from it, only if you lose. So if you win, the pointer is this will reset to 0 every time, but as soon as you lose, it's going to add $500 to the loss, which is going to subtract $500 off. So it won't keep subtracting off only unless you lose. I think that would be fair. So right here, here's where you lost the game, so it's going to have to go up in here. This is where you won the money, but you don't want to stick it in here. Let me see. We want to stick it in one of our lines. We don't want to just stick it down here every time. Let's see. Trying to see if this is correct. Loss equals loss, award equals award. Because this is only going to keep track of you lost. I think I need to stick one down in here maybe. This is the one that's keeping track of all our money. So every time we win, it's going to go here and it's going to subtract from loss. But if this is 0 here, then it's not going to subtract anything. So we want to basically make this check. I have to set up another if condition, excuse me guys, to make sure that this is lost, this person has lost or won, since we're going to be checking the award in the same place every time. Boy. Because you don't win any money if you lose, but you lose money. And I just wanted to make it fair, otherwise it would just keep decreasing. I guess this is fair, because what it'll keep doing is it'll keep decreasing from loss. We won't make it more complex. We'll just subtract it from $500, and it'll keep incrementing on $500 every time you lose. So it will be still harder, because every time, if you lose twice, it'll be 1,000. If you lose 3 times, it'll just keep accumulating that way, and subtract from loss. So And if you win, then loss isn't going to decrease because it's not going to go to this section. So let's try that and run it. See how that goes. We'll watch our score, see how it grows and shrinks. Oh, and also, we don't want a negative value. So what we need to do is we need to check down here to make sure that loss is that you had already won some money basically. So this loss needs to check for a variable up here. So excuse me for the complexity again, guys. I'm going to set this to 535 instead of 532 in here. And we're going to say if lot is greater or less than R, which means you didn't get the number correct, then we're going to say loss equals loss plus 500. And we're going to take out 535. I think that would be fair. I'll explain that. So what I did is I changed it to make check to see if you got the answer correct. Lost my camera. How was this thing been out of focus? Come on. You stubborn camera. You were doing so well. There it goes. Alright, let's see here. My computer is beating up a storm over